Okay, we're going to continue with our review. All right, so we already finished with the 3 problems that we had for this store key strategy. On Monday, we're going to do a synthesis, a summary of what we did this week. All right, but right now let's continue with the lesson and let's continue with the review. Now we're going to go to problem number 8. Okay, and this problem in particular, we're not going to be using the calculator because this is a problem of loss of exponents. Write it down. So remember, everything that I write, you're going to write, and you're going to take the photo of your notes. Since you're going to be writing on the review, you're going to be taking the photo of the notes that you take, okay? So this problem in particular, we're going to be using the loss of exponents, okay? This, we already did it, okay? We've been doing loss of exponents for the last 2 or 3 weeks, okay? When you multiply, you add the exponents. When you divide, subtract the exponents, blah, 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 okay? All right, so look at this problem. First of all, there's an expression. This one right here. You box it. And we underline the word expression, but because it's a keyword. This expression is equivalent, here's the verb, and here's the word equivalent, to this right here, okay? Now, I want you to highlight the coefficient that you have right here. For this one, we don't need the calculator at all. You're going to see why, all right? So here, I'm just going to highlight the 3. And then I want you to highlight the exponents. And what do we have here? If you remember, what is this? Power to a power, all right? We have everything here in the parentheses, 3x to the 7, and then elevated to the power of 4. Is equivalent to this expression. So guess what the C represents? The C represents a coefficient, okay? And the N represents an exponent, okay? The X remains as the letter of the variable or the variable of the expression. Look at the question. What is the value of C? What is going to be the value of C here? Remember what I told you about the coefficients. And here it says record your answer and fill the bubbles with in your answer document. I did not give you the answer document. I did not give you the bubble box, but we're going to write it later. Right now, I want you to focus on this expression. 3x to the 7, everything elevated to the power of 4. I want you to make it bigger because that one is very tiny. Now, you've been doing also bell ringers with loss of exponents. What do we say happens with the coefficient? Remember what we've said? That the coefficient takes the operation. Remember, everything I write, you write. Takes the operation. So, what if the x to the 7 was not there? What do you see? You see 3 elevated to the power of 4. Okay? So, that's the operation that you want to do. Whatever you get from this answer, that's the value of C. Alright? This right here, 3 to the power of 4, that is going to be your answer for C. Okay? Because if you do this operation just like we were doing in the classroom, then you'll be doing this. Of course, we have the calculator, so now let me delete everything here, doc B. And I can put the 3 elevated to the power of 4 because now I have my magic calculator. So I can put 3, and then the caret key right here, caret key, elevated to the power of 4. So now I can put it right there in the calculator, and it gives me 81. So that's my answer. This is equivalent to 81. Of course, if you do the rest, power to a power, you multiply the power. 7 times 4 is 28. but they're only asking you about the C, about the letter, or I'm sorry, about the number that you have right here in front of the X. So that number is 81. So C equals 81, okay? Now, what does it mean about this, the bubbles? You're going to have a box like this, all right, with columns and digits. So first of all, you're going to have the plus and the minus. I don't know if in that order. And then you have the digits. You have the 0, the 0, how is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then over here 0, 1, 2. So you're going to put positive 81. This is how you put the answer, okay? And you bubble the box. This is what you're going to be doing in your test. You bubble the answers. Here we show the 8, so you bubble the 8. Here we have the 1, so you bubble the 1. That's what it means to put it in the bubbles. All right? So that was number 8. So don't forget, you take a photo of this problem. Little star, I want the photo of this. Remember, I'm going to be checking your answers and your notes. If you don't have the copy of the interim review, then you're going to have to write everything here that you see by hand. All right? Okay, next problem. Now we're going to change the strategy. So we're done with expressions, we're done with exponents, with lots of exponents. Now we're going to be doing solving, okay? So now let me go to problem number 16. Let's go to problem 16. Where is it? Here. Okay, this is problem 16. It says, now this is where we're going to get started with problems of solving. All right, solving for one variable. Okay, solving for one variable. Now if you see here, we have an equation. It says so right here. We have an equation right here. Box it. We know it's an equation because we have an equal sign. Now, we know that it's one variable because we only have the letter Q. Okay? Q and Q. So they're asking you, for what value of Q, what is the value of Q that makes this equation true? All right, so whatever the value that you have for Q, it's what makes it true. Now on Monday we were doing the strategies for solving for one variable. Remember, we were doing divide. We were doing letters to the left, numbers to the right. Then we were doing combine like terms. And then we didn't get to do parentheses. What happens when you have parentheses? You distribute. But like I said, these are our 4 steps. The last one is fractions, but we didn't get to finish before parentheses and fractions. But I wanted you to get the idea that we're solving for one variable. It means that we want to leave the Q by itself, okay? So if we had to do it by hand, we have to start working on this equation to leave the Q by itself. That's what we want right here. We want to have the Q by itself and have a value right here that we don't know what it is. Okay, so what I did on Monday is show you how this is done by hand. But because of the purpose of the interim, that we have it right there in less than a few days from now, that's why we're doing the strategies with a calculator. Okay, so in order for us to do the solving for one variable, This is the strategy that we're going to use with the calculator, okay? What is our strategy? It's called the and solve. Okay, I know that some of you probably are going to remember this. Anthony, Giselle, you're probably going to remember this, the and solve. So I'm going to show you the strategy with the calculator. So instead of doing all these steps to solve for Q, we're going to use the and solve. So the calculator is going to get us the value for the Q, all right? So have your calculator ready. Let me delete this. It was the answer for the previous problem. So for the and solve, you're going to press menu. Here's the button for menu. This one right here. You're going to press it. And what are we doing? Our subject is algebra. So we're going to choose number 3, algebra. And then numerical solve. Look what the word says, solve. This one says system of linear equations. We don't have a system. We only have one equation, so we don't use number 2. This is polynomial. This is only when you use more than 3 terms, okay? I mean, and you have like a really big polynomial. So only right now this one, numerical solve. That's why we call it the and solve. The and is the and stands for numerical, and the solve, of course, because it says solve. So I'm gonna write the steps right here. Menu. Then you press number 3 for algebra. Then you press number 1 for numerical solve. So that's why we call it and solve. After you do that, look what happens. So let me go back. Menu, algebra. You can press algebra, or you can press number 3, or you can press number 1, or choose number 1. And look what you see. You see why it's called and solve? Because that's what the calculator says, and solve. And you have a parenthesis. So inside the parentheses, you have a parenthesis. Inside the parentheses, you're going to type this whole expression right here. So type the whole equation inside the parentheses, including all parentheses. You're going to see why. All right, so we're going to type the equation. I'm going to type this equation right here. Same way that we as we did it with the expressions, with the store key. Okay, type it exactly the way you're looking at it. Type it exactly the way your beautiful eyes are looking at it. So I see the negative, so it means that I'm going to type the negative, not the minus. It means I'm going to use this one right here, the negative 13. Remember, including all extra parentheses. So I see a parenthesis, I'm going to put the parentheses, and then I have the Q plus 4. Be careful when you type. You have to type exactly the way it's looking, exactly the way you see it. If you don't type it exactly the way it is, guess what? You're going to get a mistake. So 7Q plus 16 plus 16. Okay, we don't have a parenthesis there, but then you're going to tell the calculator, all right, calculator, I need you to solve for Q. So we're going to put comma Q. The comma is located right there, right here in the bottom of the calculator. I don't know if you can see it right here. You put comma Q, even before you close the parentheses of the and solve, all right? So you type the whole equation. When you finish, you put comma Q, because that's the letter that you have, and you press enter. And the answer is negative 3.4. So Q, or the answer is negative, okay? You are going to write it.